In Rivers State, I resigned willingly, former head of service, in a revelatory speech made available to newsmen yesterday. The former head of service, Dr. George Nweke, broke the silence on the speculations surrounding his departure from Rivers State government. The speech read, "My dear people of Rivers State, it is with humility and every sense of responsibility that I stand to address you today as a former head of service. You would recall that I was appointed as the head of service by our suspended governor, Governor Siminalayi Fubara. Let me also use this opportunity to appreciate him for giving me the opportunity to serve as the head of service. With the loads of misinformation on print and electronic media, I have chosen to put the record straight. I was not sacked, neither was I pressured to resign. I did it willingly from the depths of my heart. However, as an insider and a key player in this administration, by my position, who works closely with Siminalayi Fubara, it will be unfair for me to keep silent or not to address some key factors that has affected or will affect our state if we continue on this trajectory. I want to use this medium to thank Mr. President for his swift intervention in Rivers State crisis, especially on the state of emergency that was declared and assented to by the National Assembly. You will recall that when the governor was suspended as the head of service, I was the next in command, so I'm not speaking from outside. I am speaking as an insider. If not for the intervention of Mr. President, Nigeria would have faced the worst economic sabotage and Rivers State would have been up in flames. First, it all started with the Rivers State House of Assembly, where the governor, Siminalayi Fubara, directed his chief of staff, Edison Ehie, to burn down the assembly in a way to avert his impeachment. That evening, Edison was in government house with two other boys, including the former chairman of Obiapo local government area, one Chijoke. I was there with them when a bag of money was handed over to Edison for that operation, though I did not know the amount inside. I want to tell Rivers people today that the House of Assembly complex in Moscow Road was clearly brought down by Edison Ehie under the instructions of Governor Siminalayi Fubara. I challenged him to an open confrontation and I will throw more light on it. A day after that incident, I almost resigned, but I was very scared because I know the power of a sitting governor and he knew that I am aware of the whole plan and that I am discomforted with the unconscionable act and deliberate posture of innocence and mien of a sheep. Another attempt was also made to destroy the residential quarters of the House of Assembly members, if not for the press conference that was made there by Rivers youths, Rivers elders and National Assembly members. That would have been another barbaric demolition in Rivers State. I came to realize that they actually wanted to demolish that second building because after some weeks, he personally told me that if he knew early, he would have gone to pull down their hall before visiting the residential quarters of the assembly, and that he didn't actually know that they had such a beautiful hall they were using now for their sitting. I was shocked, and I asked myself, how could a man that wants to lead these people be destroying the state's assets and wasting public funds on a needless ego fight? Thirdly, I want to advise some key stakeholders who has condemned the state of emergency made by the president and confirmed by the National Assembly to retract their statements. I also understand that they are only seeing the surface. If the president did not take proactive step, no one knows who would have been affected by the sinister plans that were cooking. While I thank Mr. President for the state of emergency that was declared in Rivers State for a period of 6 months, I will plead with him not to give up on Rivers State affairs because a lot are going on there with Governor Fubara. One of the factors that got me removed was when Governor Fubara told me that they will use the Ijaws to decide who will become the next president of Nigeria. And I asked him, how will that work? Is it by votes or by what means? He clearly told me that he is the chief security officer of Rivers State and his brother is in charge of Bayelsa State, and all the pipelines are under their care, that at the appropriate time they will tell the boys what to do, and fund was not an issue. That was why when he made that statement in his public function that I will tell the boys what to do at the appropriate time, I knew something was up and perhaps the time was near. He boasted to be the David that will bring down the Goliath of Rivers State, that he has the backing of the cream de la cream in the state, the likes of Dr. Peter Audley and family promised to use their contacts in the judiciary, including some members of the University Council, to break new ground for him. The plan was to start from non-Ijaw speaking areas to destroy oil facilities, to remove attention from the Ijaw and make it have a statewide look. The Ogoni, Oyibo, Ahoda areas were to be bombed first before the Ijaw zones. This would have brought down the government of President Tinubu and usher in a new president from the coalition of political parties with a vice president from the Ijaws. The media was to be captured by paying heavily for airtime and retaining the social media influencers and known social critics in their payroll. I am not unaware of what this revelation means, but I am doing this to free my conscience and warn those innocent persons that are used to sway public sentiment that there is more than meets the eyes in the rivers matter. Sometime I sleep over in the government house, but I started being uncomfortable when Governor Bala Mohammed and some other stakeholders started nocturnal visits to Rivers State. I recalled after one of such visits, he told me that he will support Bala Mohammed for president or any other northerner, that discussions are ongoing. Though I was not bothered about who he supports, but I was more concerned about the quantum of state resources that he releases to these visitors at each visit. Let me also draw the attention of the Nigeria Labour Congress to call the chairman of the Rivers State chapter to order to avoid politicizing Labour. I am privy to several private meetings between the governor and the Labour leader in the state, and the lagis that accompanied each meeting to compromise the Labour Union. More worrisome is several meetings between the governor, his chief of staff, and some militant leaders, the details of which meetings I am not privy to since I was not allowed into the meetings. However, each meeting ended with huge sum of money paid to attendees. I wish to state categorically that Rivers people and indeed Nigerians are the beneficiary of the declaration of state of emergency rule in Rivers State and not Governor Fubara or Minister Nweke. Finally, I wish to call on Mr. President to urge the sole administrator to step up his guards and be very vigilant, because I am aware of the sinister arrangement and dastardly plans to continue to hatch their plans if not put in check. This accounts for the organized media condemnations and seeming public outcry against Mr. President and National Assembly. Those who love democracy and humanity will always protect humanity and democracy. Mr. President, you have just protected democracy and humanity in Rivers State. I can now sleep with my conscience clear. Long live Federal Republic of Nigeria. Long live Rivers State. Dr. George Nweke, former head of service, Rivers State.
Okay, I was privileged to watch the video as a psychologist. If you read from the body movements, the voices at the background and everything, we see that this is a scripted event. I stand to be corrected.
Okay.
Now, not long after that, the wife granted a praise to channels in Rivers State. He went to Abuja. There is no need. You are head of service. Want to grant praise, you ought to have done it in Rivers State. Let's just oppose the situation. The wife says one Dr. Girig or something called him to come to Abuja, whether for a meeting, and he left. Getting there, the wife was talking about the husband being kidnapped. The wife knows the husband more than some people who are close to. Instead, is someone that is very frugal with spending. He cannot go to Abuja and stay in Transcorp. Is it Transcorp or Sheraton? It's Transcorp. They can't go to Abuja and lodge in Transcorp. From the voice at the background, you will discover that this is a scripted event to bring down certain group of persons.
But from the statement, from the speech, you saw that there are facts.
Wait, the one he wrote during his resignation. If my phone was to be here, I would have read it out to you. When he wrote during his resignation, he was writing to the Palm 6. He didn't mention anything of such. Are you getting it?
Okay.
If you read he wrote it. He said, "This is my last day of writing or speaking on this platform. I'm going to exit myself voluntarily." That shows you that there is a clear cut in between. This morning a video came out. I was watching the video. It was one thing, if not for a year, I chose not to comment on this on any of the social media platform. If you watch the video that came out today, you will see editing, merging of different videos. I've not been to Transcorp, but I've seen videos of Transcorp. Transcorp is also a place that is county.
Okay.
Transcorp is a place that movement are always on. transactions are always going on. People are in and out. But you can see he's walking through the whole of Transcorp without people, exception of the staff. That is not Transcorp eating that we have seen in videos such as this. So if you just oppose all these things, the script they are writing for River State, I am sending it here, is not going to anywhere. Nweke is not benefiting. Similar footballer is not benefiting. What these men are doing, they don't know that they are mortgaging River State. In my family, there are certain things no stranger that can come into my family and enter into our room. You've given River State out to a stranger. Imagine when the sole administrator is asking local government to bring the report of 2 years back. You are to serve in 6 months. What made you? There are many things that we should question about this issue. In the west of Amechi, that democracy has been murdered. Our constitution didn't say if the president is declaring state of emergency, governor should be suspended. It didn't state it does. It didn't say that you should suspend the governor or the elected officials of the state. At least within this period, it has taken me to the constitution. I'm not a lawyer, but I've listened to several legal practitioners doing their interpretations. Most recently is that of Amechi. Amechi is one person that knows the tenets of the law. He has been Speaker of River State House of Assembly for 2 terms. He has been the chairman of the Speaker of all the speakers in Nigeria for 2 terms from 1999 to 2007. So he knows the rudiments of these laws. Okay. So it was well stressed.
You know, I'm laying emphasis on the fact you said it was scripted.
It was scripted.
This is a first-hand experience.
Have you watched this thing? The person that was talking told they read what has been written.
But this could be his own account.
No, Michael, see, when you look at somebody, look at the voice, look at the eye contact of the person, then go and watch the previous videos of this person speaking.
You know, this is former head of service, not just somebody who come.
We have seen it spoken before.
But you can't just say
he's saying this. Why did he go to Abuja? From what they are saying, the person that called him, who is the person that called him to come to Abuja? See, we don't just come to. This is River State where different things happen. This is River State where they send people from Abuja to come and arrest you because you are suspected to be a supporter of so person. This is not the first time. Things like this happened in 2015 and it's coming back to now.
The allegations of Governor Siminalaye burning down the house.
Excuse me.
That allegation has facts to it.
Which facts to it that they have?
He's not the first person that's alleged.
Wait, it was alleged. Nigeria, we are alleging everything.
But when 2 or 3 persons have said, are
there not other 2 or 3 persons that say it's not Fubara that burnt it down?
It could call our attention to it because.
Do you know if I want to bring it that way, look at the closest person to you. Everybody. Like the former governor of Rivers State said, everybody has a price.
Every man, not everybody. Every man has a price.
Everybody has a price.
Yes, to an extent. And
it was Michael. That I'm quoting what he said, that everybody has a price. So if I want to bring you down, I have scouted all. Okay, let's look at what are we stressing on in Rivers State. What is the problem? Why is Rivers State at the epicenter of all these things? You are saying this, you are while saying something different. You are coming up to say another thing this morning, contradicting what you said. Just opposing the whole scenario. I hope Nweke or whatsoever they call him, he can come back and face Rivers people confidently, entering his place in the chair confidently and say this in Rivers State. Listen, if I am bold enough, if I want to talk, I should be able to grant, is Rivers State that I'm talking about?
Okay.
And if I'm coming to equity with clean hands, I'm coming to seek justice, I should be able to come with clean hands without any conscience that will blame me.
Okay.
And if I have that free conscience, I'm saying this here because I am neither supporting Similar Fubara, neither am I supporting Nweke.
Where do you stand then?
I stand on the ground that Rivers State comes first. I've told you several times here that if we are 10, if we are 100 in Nigeria, I'm among the 2 that has great nation as their ringing tune. I believe in Nigeria so much.
Okay.
But they are making us who have staked our life, who believes in what Nigeria can be, we are beginning to lose that faith that we have in this system.
Can I ask you a question? I want to make it personal. Okay. Imagine you are the president of the country, of this country, and such situation is ongoing in this state, in a state like this as River State that has some reasonable amount of national assets, and then And then it seems like the governor in charge is I would say totally indolent in carrying out actions that could curb these things. What would be your stance?
I love that word, indolent. See, everything I'm blaming it on the governor. You know why? Just oppose River State with Ocean State of recent.
Okay.
What is happening in River State cannot be compared to what has happened in Ocean State.
It could be the one in River State.
It has not.
Michael,
see,
there is no flame. There is no fire without the flame.
Listen to me, Michael.
Okay.
I know you are an on-air personnel, and you are trying to do your job, and you are trying to like look at a way of setting the record straight for the integrity
based on facts
of where you are sitting.
Yeah, objectivism.
And I'm also coming from the point of reality and objectivism. Let's look at this.
Okay.
Governor Sugara is this. There is one question that I've been asked since October 2023.
Okay.
Why do you want to impeach the governor? Who has answered that question?
Whom were you asking the question directly to?
They've asked you. They've asked this question over and over, both to the House of Assembly, both to the Minister of the FCT,
okay,
both to their supporters, everybody that is clamoring that the governor should be impeached.
Okay.
Why? Excuse me. Why do you want to impeach the governor? The governor came one of the press conference and said this is just a fight between a father and a son, and he doesn't want to say much about it because this is just a fight to control the resources of River State. He said it. And now what happened? They try impeachment. I'm not saying it, but I'm looking at the democratic process that have been truncated. Okay. River State is fighting. State of emergency in River State. Akwa Ibom State is basically going up. Other states in the nation, they are having their peace and they are moving in the south. But we are the people that are at ahead. Why do you want to impeach this man? Because all the things we are talking about began with the plan to impeach the governor. What did he do? What made you to? You can't just impeach a governor without you bringing forth the wrongs of the governor.
You just heard one of the wrongs.
What happened? They said to what? To avert the impeachment. Why did you go the other day to impeach him? Michael, sorry to you say this. It is commonly stated that in war, everything is fair. True or false?
It's true.
So you want to impeach me? When I have not offended you, I don't have clarity on why you want to impeach me. Let's take allegedly that the governor sponsored the burning of the Alo chamber.
No, you're using the word allegedly.
Allegedly, because we are alleging.
When there are 2 or 3 persons,
then you should be convicted. 2 or 3 persons until it has been proven. They've not proven anything, Michael. Because even the former governor of River State came to the place and said this place it has failed integrity testing, needs to be renovated, needs to be rebuilt. He said it before he left the office.
Okay. So he didn't say but he didn't say we should
let's get this thing, because let's the way we are pumping this issue, I believe in something like it's high time that we look at what is right, and I look at the governor and I blame the governor. Do you know why I blame the governor? Because you are the chief security officer of River State. You have the power the same way the president. River State is an independent unit of Nigeria that even the president does not have such power to remove you. With just mere words. Goodluck Jonathan declared state of emergency at the heat of Boko Haram in Borno. Why was the governor not removed? Why was the governor not suspended? You suspended legislature in River State. There is no legislative this thing. There is no executive arm. The sole administrature came and suspended all the appointed officials, all the this thing. What are we doing in River State?
There are peculiar cases that call for such drastic measures.
Wait, to curb the you are suspending a board of a tertiary institution. How do you want the institution to run? You are suspending a UBE, secondary school board, all the board that makes the system and the democratic process to run. You are appointing a military person as chief of staff. Let's just think about this thing. I am from River State. It's paining me. Michael is like, sorry to use this one. You are not from River State, but as an indigene of the state, it's paining me. Democracy in my state has been murdered.
I reside in River State, so
but it has been murdered. Was there any time that somebody was shot dead in River State that you said there is insecurity? Was there any time that you walk on the street of River State and you were stopped not to walk?
You saw.
Was there any time, wait, let's be plain. It was in my local government that the pipeline was born. It has been disconveyed that the people that perpetrated the act are people supporting the FCT minister. And we are here clamoring. Why? Is it the right of the governor to... The sole right of security pipeline contract is vested with the president. So if there is anything that happens to the pipeline, the president has to answer to it, because you are the one paying people. Call the person you gave the contract to safeguard the pipeline. Call him and question him. When police break out this thing that we are investigating this in the morning, in the evening you are announcing state of emergency in River State, using pipeline vandalism as the thing that necessitates that. Where police have not concluded on their investigation, what are you telling me? What script are they writing? What script are they reading? What are they acting on the stage for River State? Let's be plain. This is getting out of hand.
You know, everything the president did or has done,
did what?
Or his statements that he was emphasizing on.
As the president, wait, let's say something. The president brought 8-point agenda to be signed. A sitting governor, you brought 8 point. From what the president said to the 8-point agenda, what is the difference? Whose script is he reading? Mike Abeg, see here. Let's see. Let me say this, because if not for this, I reserve everything about comment. But listen, I am more fearful and dreadful of River State youth. Do you know why?
Why?
We had a governor that for 8 years there was no promotion. There was no, the job creation that happened in university was selective.
Under whose administration are you talking about now?
A former governor of River State.
Okay.
Was selective. We had a governor that civil servant implementation of 30,000 minimum wage was not done. There was no human capital development for the youth. But somebody came. I'm an ardent, okay, if they are talking about someone you are supporting, I'm an ardent supporter. I believe in the political philosophy of Amechi.
Okay.
I believe in this. Do you know why? He will tell you that blood of anybody shouldn't be shed because of power.
Okay. The same stance was reiterated by the former president of Nigeria.
And not just the former president, because it was within the same time. What happened in 2000? Had it been Amechi Boys Rose, but he said nothing. If you have a man, like what is happening in River State, when we keep saying that he sued for peace, immediately the man granted press statements. Let's look at what is there. He said he is going to, that no price is too much to pay for what? For peace. That was his statement. That what is he going to do? That he is going to implement the ruling of the what? Of the Supreme Court. The legislature cannot just give 48-hour ultimate to the governor. It's not done anywhere. You can't just sit down and say we are giving you 48 hours. The chief security officer of the state, even the senior cannot do that to the president. Let's call a spade a spade. They don't have such right. It's something that has to do with rehearsing.
So you don't feel there are peculiar instances that could lead to such
that, what were they? Budget presentation is not what you forced. Let's go back and study our system, and let's study our constitution is there to guide us. What is that? Already the governor have told you, I will do this. What he did, he already scheduled a meeting. Let's come, let's sit down and dialogue. Look at where chose, because it is the sole right of the governor to choose where the House of Assembly can sit. He's the chief security officer of the state. I'm going to pay all the things that were due you, that were withheld. I'm going to pay them. Let's sit, let's dialogue, let's know where, the front and the back. See, it's high time that my pain here about everything that is happening is that I'm seeing, because within these 6 months, no contract is going to be awarded in River State. Within these 6 months, there is nothing the sole administrator will do. Where our resources going? What are they doing with our fund? Where will our fund be going? Because you cannot hold him accountable for anything. After now, River State is on a standstill. Federal government have been doing projects. Which one is in River State? We are looking at 20. If you don't know what is happening in Rivers State, now, it's 2027 politics that have started. And I pity the youth of Rivers State that are not reasoning beyond party lines. I still repeat it. Nweke is not winning. Similarly, Fubara is not winning. When two elephants fight, it is the grass that suffers. It is the resources, the youth, the future of Rivers State that is suffering. It's high time we look inward. Let's leave the script that the man called Nweke is writing and is presenting on the stage now. We are in Rivers State. I have been in the state. Listen, as it stands now, I know I have eaten some decades of Christmas in the state. I have been actively involved in the political sphere from my little angle.
Okay.
Since 2003. I've been actively, I started it with my father. And I have been involved until recently when I withdrew because I saw what they were doing. I said, no. Because one thing that I don't play politics for you to give me. Rather, the little I have in my place, in my ward, I use it to do it without even the bosses knowing.
Okay.
So when I look at all the things they were doing, I have to withdraw and go back because we can't continue like this. Look at our neighboring countries. How will you come to a state like Rivers State? You now look at what they are saying. The governor asks, you were there. When you were there, what did you do? See, if you were there, you were part of the crime. Let's say if there is nothing, he will tell me. If he was there when the meeting was held and he couldn't raise the alarm, he couldn't say anything, he was part of those that shared the bag of money. So he should be held responsible.
He said being a president officer as at that time.
He's not a president officer. No. He said, listen. As
I went that event
which
was
time now, Michael? Which time? I said the letter he wrote while he resigned. See,
what would you have expected him to do in that period?
In which period?
When he saw
how many persons resigned how many persons resigned from the cabinet?
He had to keep his credibility.
Which credibility? Is he credible now? See, a credible person is the person that sees evil when evil is happening and run away from it.
He just did that now.
He didn't run away from evil.
He didn't just run. He
didn't.
To an extent, he exposed
No. He wrote different letter for resignation. He's coming here to write to say another thing. He wrote a letter in Rivers State for resignation, explaining into details what made him to resign. He's going to Abuja to read the script that someone is telling him, read what has been written. Go and watch the video now. Go and watch the video. See, it's enough of the play in this state. I don't blame them. I wrote something on my Facebook. There has been an economic sabotage in Rivers State for long. All the ports in the south are not working. All the ports are working in Abuja.
All the ports?
Tell me the ports. A man selling in Aba is going to Lagos to go and clear his containers.
But we know of the Port Harcourt refinery that's been on for
which refinery?
Up and running for
Excuse me now. I talk about ports. We are not talking about refinery.
I'm not talking about if you go into functional systems.
Functional this thing. Port Harcourt refinery has been functional for this thing now. Can they give us?
That's a credible development. If you look at the fact that it has been dormant for a long time.
It has been dormant for. See, there are some things you shouldn't dabble in here. See, Michael, Nigerian politicians, the way they have seen Nigerians to be so naive. See, a time is coming. They can look at the consciousness of Nigerians now. Because Nigerians are beginning to question everything they do. I can give you two instances.
Okay.
One of the instances is the instance of the copper lady that came on here to spoke.
Okay.
That they tried to, on the long run, all the things were suspended. Coppers are now receiving 77,000 naira. The one at Delta State, when they were singing, they said, the student responded, just that someone posted, you want to victimize the person to please the first lady. Well, of the truth, she is not their mother, they have their biological mother.
Let's not go into
that. When the masses rose, I think the thing was averted. There is consciousness in Nigerians now. Even in Rivers State, If they continue like this, River State youth will come on the street. Let them kill all of us.
No, we won't get to that.
No, let them kill all of us.
Anarchy.
Because they come engage our state for 6 months. You know what is 6 months, Michael? Half of a year and we are dying. No project is going on. Nothing. Oh God, Michael, why don't they do that in Osun State? Why don't they do that in Borno State, where Boko Haram is ravaging? Why don't they do that in Yobe and Adamawa? Why don't they do that in Abuja? Just yesterday, they shot people. They were protesting 20s. As River State thrown anything at our military men. Why don't they declare state of emergency in Abuja? Why must it be River State? In Abia State, yeah, how many times have they killed soldiers? Why didn't they declare state of emergency? In Imo State, what has been happening? Why don't they declare state of emergency?
Like I told you, peculiar instances call for peculiar action.
Let's go. Yeah, see, but at this point, this the more we are going, because there are instances. I see.
At this point, I would love to thank you for your opinion on that.